Alrighty friends, today we're going to do lesson 3.1. This is on page 139, and this lesson is going to be about counting equal groups. Now in order to understand this lesson, you're going to have to know what equal groups mean. Equal groups have the same number of objects in each group. They're pretty much what they say, groups with an equal number in each. So let's go ahead and read the question and then we'll see if we can understand what it's asking. So it says, Tim has 6 toy cars. Each car has 4 wheels. How many wheels are there in all? So that's a question that we're going to have to ask or answer. So I'm going to go ahead and just box those numbers so I can understand that that's what I need to know. And I'm going to underline that question. How many wheels are there in all? All right. So the first question, it says, how many wheels on each car? Well, it tells us that each car has, you got it. So, how many wheels are on each car? Well, there's 4 wheels on each car. Now it says, how many equal groups of wheels are there? So the number of groups that are going to have 4 wheels. Well, if it's the car, that's the group, and each car has 4 wheels. And it says that we have 6 toy cars, that we know that there are going to be 6 groups with 4 wheels on each. So we've got 6 equal groups. Now, the last question says, how can you find how many wheels there are in all? Well, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to draw equal groups and count how many wheels are there in total. So how can we find how many wheels there are? We're going to do that by making equal groups. All right, so now that we've answered those questions, let's go on to the activity where we're going to practice. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw some counters to help us. So step 1, it says draw 4 counters in each group. Now if you look here, it's got 6 equal groups, and there's 6 equal groups because we've got 6 cars with 4 wheels on each. So what this is going to show is it's going to show me that this is one car with 4 wheels, this is the second car with 4 wheels, this is the third car with 4 wheels, and so on. So I want you to pause the video and just take the time to draw 4 circles under each group. So I drew 4, and then I got to draw 4 under the number 3, 4 under the number 4, 4 under the number 5, and 4 under the number 6. Now, rather than taking the time to count all of these individually and take forever, what we can do is we can skip count to find how many wheels there are. We're going to skip count by 4s. Can you figure out why we're going to skip count by 4s? Well, we're going to skip count by 4s because we're counting the number of wheels. So in the first group, we have 4. Now 4 plus 4 more is going to give us 8. So we've got 4, 8, 12. Now we add 4 to 12. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So we've got the number 16. Plus 4 more is going to give us 20. Plus 4 more is going to give us 24. So now I've got 6 groups with 4 in each. So this represents 6 cars with 4 wheels on each. And all of these represent the total number of wheels that we've got. So let's fill in these blanks. There are blank groups. Well, it says here that this is the number of equal groups. So how many groups do I have? Perfect. I've got 6 groups with blank wheels in each group. Well, this represents 1 group. So how many wheels do I have in there? 4. So now we need to count how many wheels there are in all. We counted by 4s and we found 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. So there are 24 wheels in all. All right, now I'm going to flip the page and go to the back, and we're going to do one more example together. So another way that we could solve this is making equal groups to find the total. So it has another problem here. Sam, Kyla, and Tia each have 5 pennies. How many pennies do they have in all? So I'm going to underline that. How many pennies do they have in all? And I know that they each have 5 pennies. Now, how much is a penny worth? Do you know? Well, a penny is worth 1 cent. And we draw cent with a C and a line through. All right, so now it says we've got some questions to answer. How many pennies does each person have? Well, it says Sam, Kyla, and Tia each have 5 pennies. So each person has 5 pennies. How many equal groups of pennies are there? That one's kind of more tricky on this one, because I'm trying to figure out how many pennies they have in all, which means I'm going to have to take a look at how many kids there are. So the number of kids is going to be the number of equal groups. So let's see how many kids I've got. I've got 1, 2, and 3. Sam, Kyla, and Tia. So we've got 3 equal groups. Now it says to draw 5 counters in each group. So basically, each of these groups represents 1 kid. For example, this would be Sam's pile of 5. This would be Kyla's pile of 5. And this would be Tia's pile of 5. So we've got 3 groups of 5 pennies. So go ahead and take a second and put 5 circles in each group. All right, if you're not finished yet, pause the video until you get all your circles drawn. Now, if you notice, I drew all my pennies the same way because that helps my brain to put it all together. I think that makes things easier. So now they already did the next step for us. They counted how many pennies each kid has. So how many groups of 5 do we have? 1, 2, 3. So we've got 3 5s. So now, the last problem we counted by 4s. What number do you think we're going to count by this time? Good call. We're going to count by 5s. All right, so if I start out, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now 5 plus 5 more would give me 10. And 10 plus 5 more would give me 15. 5, 10, 15. So, how many pennies do we have in all? Good. We have 15 pennies. All right, we're all finished. Now it's time for you to move on to your next assignment.